Heyo, Foundry developer community. Michael here, TyphonJS on the Foundry Discord servers. I want to talk about the TyphonJS runtime library, the next release, give a sneak peek on everything that I've been working on. Lots of super exciting stuff. This development cycle has been a little bit longer than usual, but I kind of want to show off like this cool new functionality. And so one of the things that I've been working on is this compound color picker component. But more importantly is supporting a new browser standard that is imminently available. It's available for Chrome right now and Firefox 109 coming up soon. We'll have support for it. And that's container queries. Container queries is a revolutionary browser technology, because it allows us to do selective queries and change CSS based on a container or an element. In this case, the container is the color picker. And so container queries are very much like media queries. Media queries allow you to do selective CSS based on the width of the browser. And but container queries is just launching. It's available in Chrome. The caveat, it's not available in Svelte yet. Svelte supports, it's very easy to enable it in Svelte, but Svelte depends on a library called CSS tree that parses the CSS styles. And that's how Svelte scopes the styles to the components. Like, it has a parser for the CSS that you include in your component. It's very, the situation is very reminiscent of the XCD comic, where, you know, Svelte is higher up in the chain here, but it depends on CSS tree. And until CSS tree actually adds container queries, it won't be enabled in Svelte. But I made a fork of CSS tree and a fork of Svelte and did the enabling process. So I've been working with container queries for the last month, and it is just absolutely amazing. Now, with this compound component, if you wanted to like change the size of and layout of the component, you could have CSS variables for every single little thing in here and then change them. But container queries allow us to do all sorts of dynamic things. I have the width of the component set up, so that's the only thing I'm changing here is the width. And you can see that you can dynamically change the entire component, its layout. When it's too small, you can get rid of the actual other text input and button bar. When it gets like 235 is right where we can get the inner spin buttons fit in there. So when it's below 235 pixel width, we get rid of the inner spin buttons. But yeah, so this is a full-on color picker. You can see I have like the eyedropper API, which is a new API in Chrome to have access to the eyedropper. Very similar to the built-in color picker. But yeah, I've spent a lot of time building this component, and it's pretty badass. Like, it's great color picker. I mean, you can have you can see the precision here. You can control all sorts of things dynamically. The text input, you know, we can change everything about it all in real time. I even just added like an add-ons section, so you can create extensions to the color picker. And the one that I implemented first was like saved colors using session storage to be able to save colors. So let's see here. Let me just pick a new color. Yeah, let's get Cheyenne. And you can see here, you can just click there and it will save the color. And of course, you can just select a bunch of different ones. You know, of course, you can just remove them all. But yeah, this is a little extension that you can add to the color picker. Like, other ones that might be useful are like ally or, you know, accessibility, contrast component, gradient ranges and stuff like that. So these can be all like add-ons that you can add. But you can see how everything just works. Like, it's so cool. You can support pop-up. So let me just, you just hit the button here. It's an option. so it acts very much like, you know, just a fully featured color picker. It's pretty badass, and everything's all reactive and very, very exciting. But container queries is what makes this all possible. So I will either be releasing my fork of Svelte with container query support with the next release of TRL. I'm not too sure exactly what is going to happen with that, but there's a lot of really awesome stuff in this actual component that I've made. Everything's data oriented. It's a very good example of how to write a advanced Svelte component. This is just absolutely fantastic. It's exciting. The future is here. I'm going to lean very heavily into container queries for TRL. An example, like you can have containers inside containers. So like the window content area will be a container. Like these folder sections here, the folder itself will be a container. It's fantastic. Well, let's just take a quick look of I guess, while we're here, I'm just gonna select this guy, go to the wrapper, go up here. I'm just gonna change a couple CSS variables just so you can see like what the look and feel looks like. This is the default white. I'm just gonna add color black here. So this is, what the component would look like with a different style, or kind of like the default style. It does all sorts of cool things too, like, it checks, is it a valid value? You can't, you put in a negative number here, or a value that it doesn't, you can't put in bad data, basically, with the component. So yeah, this is just, it's super cool. I'm very, very excited to get container queries. Not only like I'm working hard, like I'm gonna try. I'd like to work with the maintainer of CSS tree. He's working on it now. I'm not sure when it's going to be fully available, but container queries, absolutely fantastic technology that I'm leaning into heavily right now. It's revolutionary on what it's going to allow you to do from a component model, like creating complex compound components that are easily to control reactively, and it's just super cool. Let me put the pop up here so you can see. You can just dynamically control it. This is some awesome stuff, and will all be available soon in the TyphonJS runtime library. Thanks for checking this out.